Some people don't rush toward the world. They turn the key, close the door, and choose a small, warm planet of their own. They find sunlight in a single lamp, comfort in a worn blanket, meaning in a quiet cup of tea. To them, home is not a refuge from life. It is the place where life truly happens. Why do some souls prefer the hush of rooms to the thrum of streets? Why does the clamor of crowds fray them, while the silence of a wooden floor heals them? Is it fear, laziness, or something deeper, an inner architecture that values stillness as nourishment? Tonight, we step gently into that interior world, the psychology of those who love staying at home. We will trace the small rituals, the tender defenses, the quiet strengths, and the soft wounds that shape a life lived mostly indoors. Look closely and you'll recognize them. They are not theatrically solitary. They are calmly deliberate. They decline an invitation with a soft, honest excuse. I need a quiet evening, and mean it. They keep rituals, a morning kettle that sings, a favorite chair that remembers the curve of their body, a playlist that reads like a diary. They savor small, private ceremonies, lighting a candle, folding a blanket, arranging a stack of books by weight and memory. To be with them is to learn how intimacy can be routine, not spectacle. In cafes, they might read the room rather than their phone. At parties, they arrive late and leave early, carrying with them a composure that's more restful than remote. Observe their faces. They listen more than they speak. Their smiles are private, their laughter quiet. They photograph less, remembering more. They keep 1,000 tiny moments in memory rather than on a screen. This is not avoidance. They do not reject the world. They simply practice a different economy of attention, spending their focus where it replenishes them. When the world demands constant performance, they conserve. When social life demands currency in visibility, they bank their energy for things that matter quietly. Deep conversations, slow meals, restful afternoons.
Beneath the rituals lies an architecture of feeling. 1. Sensory sensitivity. Many who prefer home are sensitive to stimulation. Loud clatter, fast movement, harsh light, these are not mere annoyances. They register like static beneath the skin. Home offers calibrated input, a lamp's glow, a soft chair, the measured rhythm of their breath. In that environment, the nervous system can descend from high alert into calm presence. 2. Emotional safety and control. Home is where they set the rules. There is a predictable order to the walls and objects that surround them. That predictability is not small. For someone whose sense of well-being has been threatened by unpredictability, overbearing judgment, chaotic households, relentless expectations, controlling the environment becomes a means of psychological repair. In that controlled space, they can practice being vulnerable in private and not be compelled to perform resilience publicly. 3. Introversion and energy economics. Introversion, often misunderstood, does not equal dislike of people. It describes a style of energy. Social interactions draw energy from some. They replenish others. For many home lovers, solitude is the place where energy regenerates. They are not avoiding connection. They are choosing how and when to connect. Preserving energy for meaningful encounters rather than scattering it thinly across many shallow exchanges is a core life strategy. 4. Attachment and early experience. Some find home sanctuary because of early attachment patterns. If childhood taught them that the world is unpredictable or that seeking help yields inconsistent comfort, staying home becomes an adaptive strategy. It's not always conscious, Children who learn to soothe themselves may carry those skills into adulthood, finding the interior world safe while the exterior remains untrusted. This can look like preference. Sometimes it is a carefully constructed defense. 5. Depth of inner life. There is an inner richness at play. Home allows for extended attention, a novel read fully, a hobby practiced without interruption, a thought followed like a thread. For minds that thrive in depth, philosophical, creative, contemplative, the world's rapid pace is impoverishing. The home is a studio and a retreat, a place where inner projects can develop without the pressure of immediate consumption. 6. Boundaries and agency. Choosing to stay home is an assertion of agency. In a culture that treats availability as obligation, declining public life is radical. It's a boundary that protects time, attention, and identity. People who choose home defend a sovereignty of selfhood, an unshared interior that is permitted to remain whole. 7. Joy and simplicity. Some who prefer home find joy in simplicity. Small textures, the steam of tea, the way light falls at noon. There is an aesthetic sensibility to notice tiny variations and savor them. Where the world prizes novelty and spectacle, they prize continuity and nuance. 8. Healing and restoration. Finally, home is restorative for those carrying invisible burdens, social fatigue, sensory dysregulation, past traumas. The home can become a therapeutic zone, a space where one can rebuild patterns of sleep, nourishment, social rhythm. With consistent shelter, the nervous system can learn new tolerances. Healing happens slowly, at the level of daily routine. None of these reasons are mutually exclusive. They overlap, braid together, form the distinctive psychology of people who love staying at home. A weave of sensitivity, caution, depth, and reclaimed sovereignty.
Think of them as quiet houses at night. Windows warmly lit against a vast dark. Each window is a world, a small ecosystem of light and objects, of rituals and memories. From outside, it looks still. From inside, it is luminous with life. Or imagine a lake versus a river. The world outside is a river, fast, noisy, always moving. The home lover's interior is a lake, still, reflective, deep. The lake holds the weather of the seasons. It allows for reflection without the pressure of being swept away. There are metaphors everywhere. A candle and its flame, a library with books rarely seeking attention, a garden tended slowly. Each image honors a refusal to be constantly performed, to be constantly consumed. Instead, there is tending. These metaphors help us remember staying home can be sacred. The quiet is not a lack, it is a presence. The absence of spectacle is not absence of life, it is life lived in a different register. And when you stand at the threshold of such a house, you are invited into something intimate, not a loneliness, but a careful hospitality. The person welcomes you only if you step softly, only if you are willing to be small and present. There is a generosity in that hospitality. You are offered time, depth, and attention. You are allowed to be seen slowly, not hurriedly. Over time, many home lovers have a quiet realization. Staying home is not avoidance, it is repair. They notice that their days regain texture, sleep becomes steadier, mornings become warm rather than frantic. The very feeling of having space, spaciousness, permits inner work. There is also a transformation in relationships. When someone chooses home consistently, they attract others who respect depth and patience. Invitations shrink in number but grow in quality. Conversations become longer and listening deeper. The social currency moves from quantity to quality. At an identity level, the shift is profound. The The person who once felt the need to explain themselves begins to accept that explanation is unnecessary. They learn to say, "I am this way because I need to be." And that claim, spoken or unspoken, is often met not with judgment, but with relief. There are others who understand. Healing can also happen through ritual, cooking slowly, tending to plants, cleaning with care. Small, repetitive actions stitch the days together. These acts are not chores. They are repair sessions. A tea brewed mindfully can be an anchor. A room arranged thoughtfully can be a declaration of self-worth. Finally, there is liberation. Home becomes not merely a refuge, but a launch pad. With energies restored, the person goes out when they choose, not because they must. When they return, they carry in their pockets not exhaustion, but lived moments. Books read, songs heard, quiet conversations savored. In this way, staying home becomes a way to live fully, selectively, and with deep moral intelligence about one's own limits. In the end, loving home can be less about where you are and more about how you are there, consciously, lovingly, intentionally. If you recognize yourself in this portrait, know this: your preference for home is a kind of wisdom. It is a body's answer to the world's demands. It is a gentle refusal to be hurried, to be displayed, to be judged. If someone you love chooses to stay home, try approaching with curiosity rather than concern. Ask about the small things: what tea they brew, which window they watch, which book they return to. Offer presence without performance. Sit quietly and let patience do its work. And if you are learning to love staying home, give yourself permission. Learn to tend your surroundings as you would tend a garden. Celebrate the small rituals. Keep the lights that soothe you. Invite only the people who add to your quiet. The world outside will always spin fast, but there is bravery in stillness. There is dignity in choosing the quality of your life over the quantity of your appearances. There is deep human flourishing in learning not to be defined by where you go, but by how you come home.